Hey guys, it's Courtney from the Ivy League, and today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about the apps that I have on my phone for school. So we're just going to jump right into it, and I'm going to do a split screen, so you're going to be able to see probably somewhere over here, magically, that you'll be able to see what apps that I have on my phone. So the first few apps that I'm going to go through are first two are apps that are required by our school. The first app is the Micromedex drug guide, and you'll see the front page or the icon over here on this side. So this one was required by our school, and it is really just a drug reference guide, and it's great for filling out med sheets for clinical and whatnot. It's got everything that you would need on there, and it has a lot of the new drugs. They update it constantly, so it's a good one to have. The second one is also by Micromedex, and it's the IV Compatibility App, and this one is great for meds also, but there's a feature on that will let you select. You can go down a checklist and check, and you can check for compatibility with different drugs. So it's actually, both of those have a good use outside in clinical practice as well. But they do charge for both of those. I'm not sure how much they are. I'll look them up, put it down below. Right now it's being paid for by our school, so they issue a school-wide code, and that's basically what we do. So the next one I've done a review on before. These next few are going to be like RN practice examination type apps. The first one I've done a review on before. You guys have probably seen it. It's the RN Crush app, and it turns NCLEX style questions into a game. And you guys know that the last time I talked about it, if you watched it, that I really, really like this. It makes it fun and interesting for you guys for anybody, for me even, to practice questions. So I have that one. I also have the NCLEXRN app by NCLEXRN Mastery, and this is the app that we use for class. It's not an official app that we had to have, but we use this app before we take tests. For example, in MedSurg 2 and MedSurg 1, we would select the MedSurg option. You'll be able to see it over here. I'll screen cap the MedSurg option, and you can actually answer questions that are very similar in style to what we ended up having on the test. So we tended to use this app a lot before exams. It worked really great for OB. There's a whole section on mental health. The only thing that there isn't on here is critical care, which is coming up next for us, along with leadership and management, which is not on here either. So it has med-surg, labs, psych and mental health, maternity, pediatrics, pharmacology, and nursing fundamentals. So we also used it for fundamentals, and we'll be able to use it for pediatrics. I actually heard from someone in our class that they used it for pharmacology. Instead of restudying their notes over and over again, they actually answered questions from this and got like low A, high B on the test every single time. So it really worked out well for the person that used that one. There's also in here, I'll put a screen capture of this, there's mnemonics, terminology. You can track your progress as far as how many questions that you've answered. There's other resource, there's different tests, and then there's skills. It gives you like a rundown of reminders of things to do during skills like trach care and stuff like that. Now the progress is really interesting because while you're answering questions, and I'll put a question up here, After you answer a question, there are 3 selections. You can choose know it, don't know it, or kind of know it. So the questions that are in the know it drops those off, and you can pick them back up again later, but it has you go over the don't know it and the kind of know it questions again to kind of make sure that you know that you get those even further, that you know how to answer those questions. So that's that one. I also like the Saunders NCLEXRN app, the mobile questions. It's just the light version, and you can also kind of track your performance with that, but mostly I prefer the NCLEXRN Mastery app. There's also one out there that's called NCLEX Mentor, and you can use that one to do quizzes as well, and I'll put that screen cap over here. Now for care plans, the best care plan app I have found is actually called Nursing Plans, and you can see this one over here, and it divides up your care plans into different body systems, or you can choose from the NANDA diagnoses, and they're all in a list already, so all you have to do is click on it. And it's just to give you an idea, like if you're out on the fly. Several times during our Med-Surg 2 semester, we ended up having to go in late, so we had to do care plans on the fly, you know, because our preceptor or clinical instructor had, you know, previous engagement. So we ended up having to go into school late, or go into the hospital late, and do our care plans on the fly. So because I don't carry any books, I did have my tablet with me, but getting into that book and going through it is just a pain in the butt. So I used this app to kind of give me ideas on what to focus on for care plans. And there's all sorts of different options to choose from, and I'll put that over here as well. So the next app that I have on my phone is actually a study tool. It's called Pomodoro Timer, or Pomodoro Pro. It's a timer, and you use it to keep track and to assist you in studying. So basically what you do is you set a timer for a predetermined amount of time. I have mine set to 55 minutes. After 55 minutes, it tells me to take a short break. And that short break lasts for 10 to 15 minutes. I think I have mine set to 15. You can set those for whatever you want to as well. And then after 15 minutes, it tells me again that it's time to go back and study. And then after 4 of those, it tells me to take a long break for at least an hour. So that's what I use that for. But the coolest part about Pomodoro is that you can set a goal. So say you want to do 8 Pomodoros or whatever. And they call Pomodoros the little section, your little block of time that you've studied for. So you set a goal for that, and you can actually, there's a graph at the bottom, so you can track how many minutes that you spent studying, how many Pomodoros that you've used, and stuff like that. It's really helped me as far as focusing me for studying. So the next 3 apps that I'm going to talk about are apps that I got for our critical care clinical and lecture for this next semester. The first one is ECG test, and it has samples of EKGs and gives you a scenario. For example, the one over here, you'll see that the first one is a male, 43 years old, and you actually watch it go across the screen just like this, and you pick 3 correct answers from the bottom as to what you see going on in the EKG strip. And then it gives you answers right away, and there's a case interpretation at the bottom. So the next one is the Pocket ECG Guide, and this one has some really great pictures of EKGs and ECGs that are divided up by disease, which is really great when you're first starting out. So this is one that we haven't even started class yet. We don't start until next week. But it's one that I've looked over a lot so far to just kind of get an idea of the various ECG changes and stuff like that. So the last one from the ECG group is Instant ECG, and basically, it's by an anesthesia company, and it does basics. There are true or false questions, multiple choice. You can identify the rhythm strip, and it also does identify a 12-lead basic EKG. There are supposed to be videos on this, movies, but I have yet to be able to get the movies to play. So that's kind of a bummer. Even when you click movie up at the top, like I'm clicking, you click it repeatedly and it does nothing. And unfortunately, this is one that doesn't have, this is one of those apps that they dumped on iTunes and never came back to, update it or whatever. I'm pretty sure it was free. So luckily I didn't pay anything for it, but it's a good resource if you're just looking for resources out there. So these are the apps that I use, and I'll show another little clip of my phone over here so you guys can have one final look at everything I use. If you guys use an app that I don't have on my list that you think I should use or that people should know about, go ahead and leave it down below. Make sure you click like and subscribe. Thanks guys, bye.